I grew up in Las Vegas. So to me, Don Rickles, like if you grew up in Anaheim, Don Rickles wasn't Mickey Mouse. I think Frank Sinatra was probably Mickey Mouse, but he was Donald Duck. It seemed like he was always here, almost as if he was the mayor of the town. I saw him when I was probably 18 years old. I was too young to be there. I probably shouldn't have been there, but every once in a while I'd get into something. The first concert I ever saw was Sammy Davis Jr., so I had an unusual upbringing. And Don Rickles, I mean, nobody makes me laugh harder than he does.
Stan Irwin was from entertainment director of the Sahara Hotel, and Al Orwell, the agent, saw me, and they worked it out that I get a chance to work in the lounge at the Sahara Hotel, where the great Louis Prima was the headliner.
Louis and I were working the Sahara Hotel in the lounge, and we worked from midnight till 6 in the morning. We did 5 shows a night, so naturally there were other acts that worked opposite us in between, and Don Rickles was one of those.
A guy called Key Howard was my piano player, and he'd sit at the piano, and I'd say, now, Don Rickles.
Sinatra would come in our lounge a lot, and he'd bring people like Spencer Tracy and Gary Cooper.
Louis would say, what do you want while you're here? I said, well, Louis, I'm going to do, well, don't be on too long. Louis was always worried somebody would do great. He was a magnificent performer.
You could go 2 blocks off of the Strip, and there was nothing there. It was like tumbleweed.
Wasn't bumper-to-bumper traffic. There weren't freeways. You know, when the Dunes Hotel ended at the Dunes Hotel, if you looked out the back window of the Dunes Hotel, it was just desert. Or any of the hotels. I mean, there was nothing beyond the rear of the hotel where they had the pools, and that was it. It was just desert.
There were only 3 acts. There was the Norman J. Trio, there was Louis Prima and Keeley and Don.
And at that time, they had the lounges and the main rooms. And I was an opening act in the main room, but the 2 big acts were Shecky Green and Don Rickles that you ran to see in the lounges. And I went to see him, and I just was blown away. No one was doing what he was doing at that time. No one.
Nothing spontaneous ever seemed to happen in a big room. You'd always hear through friends of your dad, or somebody was in Vegas and they saw Rickles, and oh my God, he went off on this guy, or something happened. But the lounges seemed like the coolest, sexiest, most fun places to be.
The maitre d' in the lounge was a guy named Johnny Joseph. And people would be lined up to go in to see Don's show. And Johnny Joseph would walk down, and he would pick out people. He'd pick out obese people. He'd pick out people with bad hair pieces.
I got a real heavy lady, boom, 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 and I got a skinny guy.
And he said, would you like to sit in front? And they would, oh, wow, hey, Marge, we're going to be able to sit in front. Now, little did they know that, of course, Don is going to attack their obesity or their age or their hairpiece.
For the first time in the history of the lounge, for me, they charged a $5 cover charge. I was the biggest thing in the world. For me to have a $5 cover charge in the lounge. And my competition, always, was funny, was Shecky Green. Because he worked in the lounge at the Riviera, and he was big in Vegas in those days. He was the biggest thing in the world. And I was his next opponent, so to speak. So, say, Shecky tonight he had 200, and you had 150. Or tonight you had 280, and he had only 100. I mean, it was like a duel in the sun.
When Don was working in the lounge, he was the king of the lounge. Edie and I would go watch his 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning show and have breakfast there.
And all of a sudden, here's Don doing one 5 in the morning at the Sahara, which was hilarious. We all rent, of course.
And I saw Jack Carter was forever going in. And all the comics were in there just to get nailed by, by Don.
All the guys were there, Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis and all that. And then we'd hang out with all the boys, afterwards, because Louis Prima was there, and Sam Viterra and Keely Smith, and they're in the lounge. So we all had to get up on stage. We didn't have to, but you see, we're really big hands.
Every hotel in those days had a big name in the showrooms. You could come in and see Frank Sinatra at the Sands, Judy Garland at the Frontier, Ray Bolger at the Sahara, Patti Page. All the stars worked there.
It was the Mecca. It was Mount Olympus. You would drive down the main strip, which is a lot smaller, and every major, Anne Margaret, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Tony Bennett, just on and on. It was, if they had blown up Vegas, it would have blown up show business.
You had to be dressed to go into a showroom. Gentlemen had to have a shirt and tie and a jacket. Women wore gloves. I mean, it was a wonderful time.
The excitement of walking into a big showroom with the plush velvet walls and the gold on the thing, and going down the tiers and getting into the good booths. And the game with the maitre d', you would watch the maitre d' slipping the money to get them vertiphone. Oh, and the dress, it was an occasion.
It was really elegant. It was beautiful.
When the mob ran Vegas, it was glorious. We were like kings, you know. We walked it everywhere. We had the run of the room. Come, boom, bang.
You could walk anywhere, go anywhere, drive anywhere, totally safe because the mob ran it.
Tough guys, but seemingly had a good sense of humor and kind of loved the performers who appeared there. They were held in some kind of reverence that you really don't see anymore. They ran the town great. I mean, what happened was, when I was there in the 60s, the Jews came in, and the corporate mentality kind of took over the town. He bought the DI, he bought the Sands, he bought the Frontier, the Landmark. Everything had to pay for itself. Now, prior to that, the boys, you know, the showroom didn't have to show a profit because they knew they'd make the money in the casino. Like if a guy had a good time and you comped him and he's with a girl and she's impressed because the guy's getting comped, they know he's going to drop a lot of money in the casino. But when the corporate mentality came in, the coffee shop had to make money, the showroom had to make money, and the hotel had to make money, and there were fewer comps, and it wasn't the same town. It became a different town. I mean, say what you want about the boys, but they knew how to run a gambling place.
Part of the world we admired greatly, myself and my old friends down the Lower East Side, of course, was the Rat Pack and Vegas. And Ocean's 11 was one of our favorite pictures. I mean, it's not a great picture, but it's great, and it's like a time capsule in and of itself. Just the last half of it alone, just the shots of Vegas at that time in widescreen color.
47 years. 47 years in this town. I started out in the lounge in the Sahara Hotel, and then I became a star overnight. Johnny Carson gave me a shot, and Sahara got ill one night, and I took his place and headlined ever since. That was great. I miss Johnny. He was a great guy. And Stan Irwin came to me and said, Johnny took ill, and you're going to take his place. It's a pretty crazy, Stan. I never worked a big room in my life like that. But the place is packed. You're going to be great. Don't go out and just do your thing. And sure enough, I went out on the stage, and boom, and I was a hit. And they took out the lounge and signed me to the big room. They gave me like a 2-year deal to work in the big room. And then I went to the Desert Inn, worked there for a while, and went to Tropicana, worked there for a while. And I worked at the Flamingo. In fact, I work most of the hotels. If I work one more, I'm going to work the airport. Anyway. And now I'm working the hotel that they heard I was coming, so they're going to blow it up.
VegasCommunityOnline.com. VegasCommunityOnline.com. What's going on in Sin City? VCO.